areas of social reformers. Social reformers in Kerala. Sri Narayan Guru and Ayyankali were prominent social reformers in Kerala. First one, Sri Narayan Guru. He was a great social reformer. He was born in a poor Ejwa family near Trivandrum in Kerala. During the 19th century, Sri Narayan Guru played a significant role in Kerala. He fought against inequality and injustice. He was a great scholar of Sanskrit, Tamil, and Malayalam. He worked throughout his life for the moral and social advancement of backward communities. He revolted against caste system, animal sacrifices in the name of religion, and also he gave a wonderful message that is one God, one religion, and one caste. And he in 1903 he founded Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Yogam, which was established for the development of the Ejwas and other depressed classes. And also he organized temple entry movements. So finally, he fought not only for Dalits, but also for backward communities. And another person, Ayyankali. Ayyankali was a social reformer. He worked for the development of the Pulayas. Pulayas were known as untouchables in Kerala. Under the leadership of Ayyankali, Pulayas gained an effective voice. He became the leader, Dalits, and also he fought for the development of the Dalits as well as their self-respect. He worked for the education and land rights the Dalits. He worked for the education and land rights for the Dalits. He started Sadhujana Paripalana Yogam and worked for the rights of the Dalits, and also he worked for the Puliya's women's rights. Especially, Puliya women did not have right to cover their breasts. So he fought for the right to cover their breasts. So he fought for the right to cover their breasts. Social reformers, and next is another state, Tamil Nadu. And in Tamil Nadu, social reformers during the 19th and 20th century, Tamil society was filled with the caste inequality. Due to this, some of the reformers fought for the social reforms in Madras, especially Ramaswamy Nayakar played an important role for social reforms in Tamil Nadu. What about Ramaswamy Nayakar? He was born on September 17, 1879 at Erode in Tamil Nadu. He was born on September 17, 1879 at Erode in Tamil Nadu. He played a significant role for the development of the lower caste people. And he started self-respect movement in Tamil Nadu. He attacked on Brahmins and Brahmin ideology. He fought against untouchability and social injustice. So finally, he fought not only for the rights of the Dalits, but also backward communities. And another one, Ayodhya Das. 1845 and to 1914. He was a great revolutionist from Tamil Nadu. He revolted against untouchability and fought for the rights of the Dalits. He converted into Buddhism. After converting to Buddhism, he told to Dalits that Buddhism is their original religion. So every Dalit should join in Buddhism. He found Panchamar Mahajana Sabha. He founded Panchamar Mahajana Sabha in 1891 along with Rettimalai Srinivasan. He also started journal Urupaisa Tamilian, and these are the South Indian revolution. These are the South Indian reformers. And another movements of Ahmadiyya movement. What is the Ahmadiyya movement? Now we are going to discuss about Ahmadiyya movement. Who was the founder of Ahmadiyya movement? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement. He started his work to protect Islam against Arya Samaj and Christian missionaries, and also in 1889 he called himself as Messiah and later became an incarnation of Hindu God Krishna and Jesus. Like Brahma Samaj, the Ahmadiyya movement also depend on the principles of universal religion of all humanity. After Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was played a significant role in Ahmadiyya movement. Ghulam Ahmad was influenced by Western liberalism, theosophy, and religious reform movements of Hindus. He opposed jihad, means holy war, against non-Muslims and managed fraternal relations with all people. The movement spread Western liberal education among Indian Muslims, and schools and colleges were started to serve the Muslims. Next one, Wahhabi movement. Wahhabi movement was a revivalist movement. The followers of Arab religious reformer by Abdul Wahhab are known as Wahhabis. Who was the founder of Wahhabi movement in India? Fakir Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi of Rai Bareli was the founder of the Wahhabi movement. Once again, who was the Wahhabi movement in India? Fakir Sayyid Ahmad Barelvi of Rai Bareli was the founder of the Wahhabi movement. Sayyid Ahmad's ambition was to revive and restore Muslim power in India by overthrowing the Sikhs in Punjab and the British in Bengal. After Ahmadi's death, Wahhabi movement was carried on by his followers in northwest frontiers provinces. And next movement is Aligarh movement. Syed Ahmad Khan was the founder of this movement. It was at Aligarh that the Muhammad Anglo-Oriental College was established in 1875. This college was founded as the central educational institution for the Indian Muslims. With the support of the leading Muslim gentry of North India and the active cooperation of Salar Jung, the Prime Minister of Hyderabad, the Aligarh movement aimed at spreading Western education among the Muslims without wak- wakening, wakening their allegiance to Islam. The Aligarh movement aimed at evolving at social reforms. It condemned polygamy, parada, divorce, and advocated that women should receive Western education. The Aligarh movement was based on liberal interpretation of the Quran and tried to harmonize Islam was the modern liberal culture. Islam with the modern liberal culture. A large number of distinguished Muslims like Chirag Ali, Altaf Hussain Ali, Maulana Shibali Naujani carried on the work of Sri Syed Ahmad Khan, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and developed the university as a nursery for future Muslim leaders. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, the architect of Islamic Renaissance, was an ardent patriot and nationalist. He held that the Hindus and Muslims in India formed one nation. In 1906, after his death, the Muslims formed a rival political party to the Indian National Congress called the Indian Muslim League. So, the interests safeguard the interests of the Indian Muslims, it demanded separate electorates, reservations, a reservation of seats for Muslims in the legislature and weightage for them in the services. Till now, we discussed about Aligarh movement and Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The next one is Parsi movement. Till we till and the next moment was Parsi movement. During the middle of the 19th century in Bombay, religious reforms has begun among the Parsis. Enlightened Parsis founded the Renumai Mazdayasan Sabha, Renumai Mazdayasan Sabha on Religious Reforms Association in 1851. This was done to reform their religion and society. This Sabha insisted to purify and bring the Zoroastrian religion to its original form. For this, they started a weekly journal called Rast Goftar. The leading Parsi reformers were Nauroji Padhoji, Dadabhai Nauroji, and S.S. B.M. Malbhari, a Parsi leader, founded the Seva Sadan. It was for social welfare work. The main objective of this was to help women and children. This is how Parsi movement this is how Parsi movement has taken place. Let us start with Akali movement. Akali movement. As there were social religious reforms taking place in most of the Indian parts, Sikhs also tried to purify their religion and society. As there were social religious reforms taking place in most of the parts of India, Sikhs also tried to purify their religion and society. When the Khalsa College was established at Amritsar in 1890 by the Sikhs, the revivalist movement appeared to get away from the corrupt Mahants and to reform the Gurudwaras. The Sikhs started a committee named the Shiromani Gurudwara Prabandhaka. The reform movement started to develop after 1920 when Akali movement started in Punjab. Sikhs also started fighting against social evils like other reformers. They also promoted English education. These are the reform movements which occurred and other socio-religious reformers who fought for a better society. The socio-religious reform movements had a great impact. These movements contributed the contributed to the spread of English education in India, for the modernization of the country, for eradication of social evils, for the purification of Hinduism and other religions like Sikhism, Muslims, etc. As we discussed before, these movements played an important role in awakening this sense of nation among the Indians. It helped in building self confidence and pride in Indians. It also helped Indians get national consciousness and prepared the Indians for national movement. Now we are going to unit 1 is done. Let us go to unit 2. Unit 2, regional political associations and the Indian National Congress. In this unit, we are going to the things which helped in the growth of nationalist ideas in India, about the political associations before the establishment of Indian National Congress. As we know that British came to India from trading purpose. As we know that British came to India for trading purpose and slowly started conquering. The British started their rule in India by winning the Plassey movement, winning the Plassey movement of 1857 during the second half of the 19th century, there was much growth in national movement in India. There was a political party which helped all the people to fight for independence and brought the courage among them. This party is the Indian National Congress. The movement was carried on with the different methods. This movement started with a small group and ended up bringing all the nation together. It helped in achieving freedom. As I already, as I said, as I already said, that in the second half of the 19th century, there was much growth in national movement and the sense of nation among the people of India. So now let us discuss that what are the factors that showed impact on growth of nationalist ideas. Factors Factors responsible for growth of nationalist ideas. First one, the first factor is the foreign rule and racial discrimination. The British rule itself acted as a unifying factor in many ways. The main reason was these Englishmen were foreigners, so everyone in the country were against British. Not only the foreign rule, but also the concept they the, the concept they introduced, such as racial discrimination. Racial discrimination played an important role for the growth of national sentiments in India. The other main reason was that everyone in the country were suffering because of the British rule. India was not given any, Indians were not given any political rights or political power in their own land. Foreign rule always ends up with nationalist awakening, and India's was also the same case. And second factor was the political unification. The British rule brought the idea of administrative and political unification among the Indians. The uniform system of administration throughout the whole country was introduced by British for the first time in India. Also, the modern means of transport and communication like the railways, the post and telegraph system introduced by them helped Indian political leaders to propagate the idea of nationalism among Indians. And the third factor is the Western arts and education. Not only the above factors, but the English education introduced by them brought a modern, rational, secular, democratic, and nationalist political outlook among Indians. People, people were deeply influenced by the Indian ideas of the European movements. Philosophers like John Stuart Mill, Rousseau, Thomas Paine, and other Western thinkers became their political guides, the knowledge of the French Revolution. The nationalist movements of Italy and Germany and the Irish struggle for freedom, developed, developed nationalistic feelings. The leaders of these movements, like Joseph Mazzini and Garibaldi of Italy, influenced them. The English education played an important role in the growth of nationalism in the country. The educated Indians were the first to feel the humiliation of foreign su- subjections. Because of this, they could also the evils of the British rule. The English education not only had a good impact, but also bad impact on impact on the country. Because of the English education, rational, regional languages were neglected. This education built a communication barrier among educated urbans and common people. This was recognized by many of the Indian political leaders. From Dadabhai Nauru, Syed Ahmad Khan, and Renade, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Gandhiji fought they agitated, agitated for sorry agitated for a bigger role for the Indian languages. And another factor, and this the fourth factor is the national literature and the press. The Indian press and literature in the 19th century were also responsible for the growth of nationalism. The novels like Anand Anand Mat, written by a Bengali writer, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, plays and stories played an important role in inspiring the spirit of nationalism. The Vande Mataram song, which was in Anand Mat, became a great source of inspiration to the people. For the first time, it was sung at the annual session of the Indian National Congress in 1896. The writings of contemporary writers like Bankim Chandra Chatterjee and Rabindranath Tagore in Bengali, Bhartendu Harish Chandra in Hindi, Vishnu Shastri Vishnu Shastri Chaplakar in Marathi, Subramanyam Bharati in Tamil, and Altaf Hussain Ali in Urdu promoted patriotism among people. The contemporary press, newspapers, and magazines also played a significant role. The government failed to purchase the press. These editors exposed the evils of British rule without any fear. And the newspapers, Indian Mirror, Amrit Bazar Patrika, Bombay Samachar, Kesari, Maratha, Andhra Patrika, Andhra Prakashika, Krishna Patrika, and the Urdu paper Azad helped the growth of the patriotic feelings. By the year 1905, India had over 700 newspapers. And fifth one is socio-religious movements. As we read in the previous unit, as we read in the previous unit, prominent reformers of the movements, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Vivekananda also brought the spirit of nationalism and self-confidence among the Indians with their teachings. Annie Besant, an Irish lady by birth, who became an Indian by choice, also played an important role. These reformers declared that self-government in the West from form of government. And uh, sixth factor is the rediscovery of India's past. The study of India's past by the British and Indian scholars, including ideologists and archaeologists like Max Muller, Moyni Williams, John Marshall, Dayaram Sahani, Wheeler, Archie Bhandarkar, and Rajendra Lal Mitra, brought to light the glorious culture past of the country. They began to take pride in the Indus Valley civilization. Some leaders brought to light the political and cultural achievements of Indian rulers like Ashoka, Chandragupta, Vikramaditya, and Akbar. The publications of Asiatic Society, Bengal, established by Warren Hastings, also brought to light the past glory of India. Indians took pride in their history and culture. This developed patriotism. And seventh factor is policies of rulers. Policies of British rulers. The period from 1876 to 1884 is called the seeds time of Indian nationalism. The anti-Indian policies and acts of the British rulers during this time contributed to the growth of nationalistic aspirations among the Indians. In the regard, particular mention can be made about the anti-Indian policies of Viceroy Lytton. The way in which he conducted Delhi Darbar. When the nation was facing several famines, severe famine was a clear proof of this anti-people attitude. The way in which the British spent 30 crores of rupees from Indian treasury towards the Second Afghan War and also angered the people. The ban imposed by Lytton on Indians carrying arms was bitterly criticized. Lytton passed the Vernacular Press Act, which curbed the liberty of the Indian press. Lytton reduced the age of eligibility of the Indians appearing for civil service examinations from 21 to 19 years. So as to minimize the entry of Indians into the Indian civil services. That attitude of Viceroy towards the educated Indians was one of the main reasons for the growth of national spirit in the Indian minds. The British continued to wage a number of wars with other countries like Nepal, Tibet, and Afghanistan, and the cost of these wars was met out by the taxes collected from the Indians. And eighth factor, economic policies of the British. The drain of Indian wealth to England impoverished the country in the wars of Brooke Adams Nowhere in the history of the world such a huge wealth was shifted from one country to another. Indian cottage industries suffered a major setback due to the policy of liberalization. Britain used to procure raw materials needed for their industrial production at very cheap rates from from India and used to import the manufactured goods into India. This destroyed handicrafts in India. The economic policies of the British roused the spirit of nationalism among the Indians. And ninth one, Gilbert Bill. Racial discrimination in the field of judiciary continued till Ripon's viceroyalty. By the time many English educated Indians studied law and entered the judicial service, the existing practice in the dispensation of justice in these days was discriminatory. The British judges were empowered to try and award punishments to both British and Indian culprits and criminals, whereas the Indian judicial officers were not allowed, whereas the Indian judicial offers were not allowed to try the British offers of offenders. Ripon sought to remove the discrimination and took advice from Ilbert on law matters. On his advice, a bill proposing the removal of the prepared. Differ- difference was prepared. This angered the British, who unitedly carried on a struggle and made the viceroy withdraw the bill. The way in which the bill was opposed concertedly and unitedly by the British came as an eye opener for the Indians. The Indians learned that an organized movement is necessary to get their demands fulfilled. Early political associations. And next factor, early political associations. The next topic, early political associations. 1857 revolt played a significant role in India. After the 1857 revolt, the leadership of Indian resistance against British rule transferred from upper classes to the English educated community. The English community had new ideas about nationalism, civil liberty, and constitutional government. The leadership formed this leadership formed a number of associations against the British to get freedom, and also these associations played an important role in national awakening among the people of India. Now we are going to learn some important associations. First one, Bangabhasha Prakashika Sabha. The Bangabhasha Prakashika Sabha was formed by associates Raja Ram Mohan Rai in 1836. Under this Sabha, Raja Ram Mohan Rai started an agitation for political reforms. Especially, he fought for the freedom of press, separation of executive and judiciary, appointment of Indians in higher officers, protection of rights, riots from Jamindari oppression and development of Indian trade and industry. Landholders Society. The Jamindari Association, more popularly known as the Bengal Landholders Society, was founded in 1837 by Dwarakanath Tagore, Prasanna Kumar Tagore, and Radhakant Dave to Radhakant Dave to safeguard the interests of landlords of Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Then, in 1843, the Bengal British Indian Society was established to protect and promote the interests of the general public. In 1851, both the organizations merged to form the British India Association. Third, and another important point, Dadabhai East India Association. Dadabhai Nauroji, popularly known as Grand Old Man of India, organized this association in 1886 in London. This association played a significant role against British rule in India. Branches of this association were established by him at important Indian cities like Bombay, Kolkata, and Madras, but it became defunct in 1880s. And Puna's next one, Pune Sarvajanika Sabha. It was formed by Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade and J. Ranade in 1870. He brought out a quarterly journal. It brought out a quarterly journal under the guidance of Ranade, and valuable articles were contributed to this journal by eminent scholars, particularly on the problems of Indian economic conditions. And next one, Madras Native Association. Madras Native Association and Bombay Associations were established in 1852. Madras Native Association was started by some of the leading citizens of Andhra and Madras. It played a very important part for several years by submitting petitions and memorials to the British Parliament. Indian government and other authorities through this petition position through these petitions, the Madras Native Association brought to the notice of the government the defects that were reigning supreme in all the departments administration administration and suggested even suitable remedies. In 1884, Punapakam Annade Charyulu, Anandacharyulu, Punapakam Anandacharyulu, Gaddaya Rangaya Naidu, Subramanya Iyer, and other formed the Madras Mahajan Sabha. In the year 1885, the Bombay Presidency Association was formed under the leadership of T.T. Telang, Firoz Shah Mehta, and Baharuddin Tabji. These organizations mainly devoted to criticism of important administrative and legislative measures. And next factor and next point, British India, and next one, British Indian Association. British Indian Association demanded inequality. British India Association demanded equality before law without any discrimination between the Indians and the Europeans. It also demanded for throwing open all of offices, including Indian civil services, without any reservation to Indians. The Indian intelligentsia organized political associations in big cities and through which various problems that affected the country were focused and discussed. And next point, Indian Association. One of the most important of the pre-Congress organizations was the Indian Association of Calcutta, led by Surendranath Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose. The younger nationalists of Bengal founded the Indian Association in July 1876. The main objectives of the Indian associations were unification of the Indian race and people on the basis of common political interests and aspirations, and promotion of friendly feeling among Hindus and Muslims, creation of a strong body of public opinion in the country, and inclusion of messages, inclusion of masses in great public movements of the day. In 1886, the association was merged with the Indian National Congress. And next topic was Surendranath Banerjee. His period 1848 and to 1925. Surendranath Banerjee was a brilliant writer and moving author. Brilliant writer and orator. He was also a great national leader and at the same time professor, editor, educationalist, and a social reformer. Surendranath Banerjee was the first to be selected in the Indian Civil Service examination in 1871 and started his career as an assistant magistrate at Sylhet. But he founded the Indian Association of Calcutta in 1876, and he was the first Indian leader to move for the creation of National Fund to source political advancement by National Fund to secure political advancement by constructive agitation. He extensively toured the country and delivered brilliant speeches and thus roused national consciousness among the people. National Conference convened by him became the precursor of the Indian National Congress. He presided over two sessions of the Indian National Congress in 1895 at Pune and in 1902 at Ahmedabad. He was the leader. He was the leader in the first phase of the agita- agitation against the partition, partition of Bengal. Surendranath Banerjee was also a great parliamentarian. He was a member of the Bengal Council from 1893 to 1901 and a member of the Imperial Legislative Council from 1913 to 1918. He was a moderate leader in Indian politics, having total faith in the British sense of justice and political concepts. And another point, the Indian National Congress. The next topic, the Indian National Congress. The formation of Indian National Congress was the first expression of the organized expression of the Indian nationalism on all Indian scale, all India scale. He was founded in eight. It was founded in 1885 under the direction of the Congress. Many movements were organized for achieving the freedom for the country. Such national organizations surprisingly was founded by an Englishman, Alan Octavian Hume, Evo Hume, with the wholehearted cooperation and support of parliament leaders, prominent leaders like Surendranath Banerjee, Firoz Shah Mehta, Dadabhai Nauroji, Subramania Iyer, and others. Hume was able to form the Congress. Therefore, Hume aptly is called the father of Indian National Congress. Evo Hume, 1829, about Evo Hume, 1829 to 1912. Hume was a retired British official of the Indian Civil Service, who was one of the prominent founders of the Indian National Congress in 1885. He was born in a liberal Scottish family. He worked as the secretary to the government of India in 1870 and he frankly expressed his views without regard to the wishes of the superiors, as his views did not find favor with superiors. He retired in 1882. He had great love for the Indians, primarily because his life had been saved by his Indian friends during the revolt of 1857. He was the Guiding spirit of the first session of the Congress held at Bombay in December 1885. For several years, served as its General Secretary with great distinction and devotion. In 1889, Hume helped in the setting up of the British Committee of the Congress in London, which started its journal in India in March 1883. He called upon the Calcutta University graduates to make a resolute struggle to secure freedom for themselves and their country. Next, next point, safety value theory. Till now, we read we read till now we read about the Indian National Congress birth and A.O. Hume. Let us let us discuss about the safety value theory. The Indian National first, first session of the Congress. First one, the Indian National Congress was founded by A.O. Hume in December 1885 with 72 delegates drawn from all over India. This gave the safety value theory. As per the safety value theory, Indian National Congress was founded by Hume and others under the official direction, guidance, and advice of the then Viceroy Lord Dufferin to provide a safe, peaceful, and constitutional outlet safe or safety value for the rising discontent among the masses that was leading constitutional that was leading as a popular and violent revolution. Bipin Chandra described the safe value theory as a myth, as a myth. In the words of Lala Lajpat Rai, Congress was a product of Lord Dufferin's brain, and it was found with the objectives of saving British Empire from